coming up, the outrage over Doja Cat shaving her head bald and her clapping back at her critics. That's coming up on this edition, the full-length edition of the Depraved and Debaucherous. Greetings and salutations. This is King of Podcasts. Thanks for listening in, finding the show, subscribing as you do. Please pass the word along as you hear this program, because I do enjoy doing this for all of you. It's something that's very therapeutic and cathartic to me, much like Doja Cat feels about shaving your head. So let's get into the story from hotnewhiphop.com, where I'm going to take the story from. So she made headlines when she took to social media to show off her new bald head and also shaving off her eyebrows. Now, fans were in a frenzy to see Doja, who normally puts on bright-colored wigs, long rocks, rocking a fresh buzz cut, and thin draw on the eyebrows. And many of her friends and followers were so disgruntled by the look that the 26-year-old rapper had to hop on Instagram Live to assume everyone that she's not sick, but rather doesn't like having hair. I never liked having hair. And then she goes along and says in a post, quote, I won a Grammy and traveled the fucking globe. I've had a #1 and I went platinum. I make hit after hit after hit. And all you want me to look fuckable for you so that you can go home and jerk your cocks all day long while you live in your mother's basement. Go fuck yourselves. Wow. Look, she's 26 years old. She is well within that age range where girls want to just make a change just to make a change. And I think guys don't realize that. When I went in several times going through The Psychology of Women, the book that I have in my Audible library, and they talk about the idea that you have a woman that is in their adventurous phase. You got to think about the fact that when they're going through it, they're just realizing that they want to be adventurous. I mean, that's a natural thing to just go ahead and just change just to make change. And people don't realize that that actually happens. That things can just change in every woman that does. In your 20s, a woman is always kind of well known to go ahead and, if she wants to go and learn from mistakes, or she wants to make her own choices and see what happens as a result of them, learn, love, have fun, have adventure, then that's what happens. And so sometimes you do things when you're crazy in your 20s, where you get into unique and exciting hobbies, and all of a sudden you're off. You are like the one thing has gone outdated, the next thing's trending. Things trend in your 20s. Now, one story I'm going to take from that talks about how finding adventure in your 20s may be important than searching for a soulmate. And this is where I think Doja Cat kind of feels into that. Now, part of it is absolutely she wants to, not have hair. And the idea is that, I mean, how many women do we know? I mean, black women in general, if they don't like their hair and it feels, they really can't do much to relax it or really be able to do anything with it. I mean, how many women do we know out there? I mean, I know plenty of black women of any particular area, Caribbean. Well, no, Caribbean women don't necessarily have that so much. Caribbean women can most likely have natural hair, but any girl who's African, from an African origin, or a woman that's usually an American black woman, usually doesn't have traditionally great hair, unless they're really doing a lot of work to let it grow out and do a lot of things to try to really manage it and tease it and do things to make it so it's very pliable. Like I would never want to know, but by the way, Doja Cat, I understand. I have been bald for a long time myself, and I get it. It is comfortable that way. And look, she's got a pretty face. She could pull it off. Do I want to see her with the longer hair and the cute look? Yeah, I think she's gorgeous. But I do like her with longer hair. I like anyone with longer hair. But that's not for me. I get that part. She's very much in touch with her sexuality. She's very much in touch with who she is. She changes her look all the time. Why are we surprised about that? Just look at her videos. Look at what she's done with her music. I mean, I go back listening to Doja Cat, going back to Juicy. Remember that song? That's as far back as I go with her. And that's 2018. In 4 years, what a change to this woman, where she's changed her look so many different times. And, she can make herself look as however she wants. She can make herself look goofy or weird or odd And that's, I mean, if you just follow her on TikTok or Instagram, you just see how she might just be out there. She's quirky. She's different. She's somewhat introverted in some cases. Remember, she's been kind of in a point with her fans where she gets tired and she wants to take time off because the record label won't let her get time off, and the touring that she has to do and the appearances. Sometimes she just wants to be able to do something else. Sometimes she just wants to work on something else or just relax and just do other things, the things that she used to enjoy before she became famous. So this is her really just coming off like that. But her example is very important to other women out there. And for guys out there, you need to realize when you're dealing with a girl that's in her 20s, a young woman that you want that's attractive and young, you know, all the youth and beauty that you could possibly ever desire, you know that the repercussions of trying to go and hold down a woman, and hopefully she'll stay consistent with that youth and beauty that she's been blessed with. Most guys would want a naturally beautiful woman. Are we mesmerized and attracted by a woman that knows how to put on hair and makeup? And listen, with all the work that she does to make herself look as good as she does, and then add her personality, which is really, to me, fascinating. I think the on-air persona, the person that she's publicly, is fascinating. I think she's fun. I think she's quirky. I think she's interesting. And her music, she's a muse. Like, to me, she's extremely talented, can sing, can rap, can just entertain. She is just a natural entertainer. And it's amazing where she came from the days of, you know, being in the tiny chats of the world and finding herself to become somebody so big and huge and so world renowned. She knows who she is. And if she wanted to go and stop her career now, she could. And she could do a lot of things with herself if she wanted to. But this is the thing that happened here. And it's funny where the crowd out there, they want to see her looking beautiful. They want to see her. And what is the beauty standard out there for women that are expected, right? You know, there's a thing about that too. And she knows it doesn't take much for her. Listen, if she needed to go and throw on a wig and put herself together, she could easily do that. I don't think that would be even an issue. But for some women, sometimes they want to just have that radical extreme change. And that's okay too. And that's one of those things that you figure out about yourself. As a woman, this is one of those things that come across. So to see her going to do this doesn't make much of a difference. But she definitely wanted to make sure to make the point about that her loyal fans and concerned friends that there's no need to worry about her state of mind, adding, quote, everybody being like, you're on drugs, you're crazy, what has she done to herself? You need to seek help. This isn't a cry for help or an issue of any sort. This is just me having no hair. It's still the same me. And she admitted her polarizing new look as a result of all the free time she's had in between touring and her last album, Planet Her, and making new music. You know, she's enjoying herself. And it's amazing where people are just so caught up in what they hope, what they expect her to be. I mean, how many times have we seen artists that just decided to go off the, you know, think about it, all the pop princesses we've seen and the radical changes here. What is it about Doja Cat that just got people just so stirred up? Think about that. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. And it really, when you're seeing that kind of thing happening from, like I say, a Christina Aguilera or a Demi Lovato, like all these girls that are out there that decide to change their look. I mean, I'll tell you like this. When I see what happened with Doja Cat, and I look at Olivia Rodrigo and the way she looks, I don't know if she would ever really do some kind of a radical change to her look, but you know what? Enjoy if you think she's beautiful. Enjoy if you think she's, you know, a thirst trap young guys. If you are like mesmerized and having an altogether simp crush for her. Because if you are, guess what? She's not going to stay like that forever. You know, 19 years old, she's going to change her look. She's going to start doing things, and then you're going to lose track. So for the people that are out there that are so concerned about the fact that the way that Doja Cat looks, that's not her money. That's not what she makes her money off of. It's her voice. It's her talent. It's her writing. The fact that we can see visually how she looks just adds and complements to the performance, complements to the music that she put out there. I mean, I'm not losing any sleep over the fact that, you know, she decided to go and change her look. And now, okay, her music's still going to be the music. I'm still going to listen to it. I'm still going to like it. but everybody has a real comment about it. So in the comments that were brought up here about this, there are people that have made their comments here. So let's go through what they're saying. One says, okay, and this is comments from Hot New Hip Hop. Her white side jumped out because that's a 14-year-old's response. Next person, she's a solid 7, still with that body of hers. If you put a mask on her head, but not going to lie, this bitch is hella weird. Next, palming her head like a basketball while I hit it from the back. Next, if she's going to be a weird bitch, at least act like Little Uzi and own it. Lame ass. Next, what a baby. I never liked her music anyway, so moo. Next, I hate when people get offended when weird shit causes people to react. Shaving your head and eyebrows and then drawing them in with emojis is strange behavior, period. Okay, but she's also getting attention during a time right now when she's not putting out any new music. She might be featured on some records. I mean, she's on the record with Post Malone, which is a top 10 hit. But Planet Her was last year. And there's not much else going on. Like, she's got a couple of songs that are still, kind of reeling in the charts right now. Get into it. Yeah, it's still a song that's trying to be played on radio, which is great. But other than that, she's just sitting back. She's getting new music ready. And if she's not making a lot of public appearances and she's having free time, that's what she wanted. She wants free time to do other things. And you know what? Better for her to do that. Good for her. That's what I say. Good for her. And just because, and here's another part. One person says in here, I see a beautiful woman with confidence issues that wants to make herself look unattractive because she doesn't really like herself. Next, y'all hate women so much, it's funny. And then the next part is, you play the women card too much. Not everyone has to be a brown-nosing bitch like you. And then one person writes up about the comment about, you want me to look fuckable. No, that's actually your makeup artist and label that make you go on and stage in a thong and twerk in every music video because they know we want to see it. All female artists get slutted out by the labels. Have y'all on stage at award shows damn near naked. Don't get mad at us because you walk around half naked and we look. Well, in this day and age, people are just going to be a little more triggered and a little bit more sensitive about it. And that's just how it is. But the beauty standards out there, what the record label expects her to do, what people are out there they're the image consultants, beauty consultants, they all have this certain idea of how people want to see you look. And they're not wrong. I mean, they've tested it. They've done the focus groups. They know what sells. They know what looks good. So that's why you see certain artists that just have a look that's appealing and they just want to like gaga, right? Simple way, guys. That's what it is. And in her career, she's more than got the right to do it. So good for her. I think that's one of those things where everyone wants to go ahead and just jump on the bandwagon here and really complain about it, but there's nothing much to say. So yeah, Doja Cat, I could very well see where she'll come back with some new look and, whatever. But everybody's done it. And by the way, do we all forget what Madonna did or when Britney Spears did? Okay. They've also done some things where they've kind of changed their look drastically. That's a normal thing. Especially when you're trying to keep yourself in your career, always ever changing, evolutionizing, all of that. That's what everybody. When Miley Cyrus cut her hair, did anybody make a big stink about that? When Katy Perry decided to go change her hair color or, pick a thing, whatever. Everybody changes. Everybody does their own thing. This is what you have to do to stay relevant, especially in the short attention span society that we have now of entertainment. This world of TikTok and Instagram, you need to keep yourself on focus and do what you got to do to keep yourself ahead and keep yourself noticed. Because people can forget you pretty quickly. But this is a blame on the beauty standards out there on what is set for beauty and for the fact if a woman wants to take a break, she's going to take a break. There's plenty of women out there that we can also go gaga over, okay? Plenty of other women. All right? But everybody wants to get caught up on here. It's funny where the fans, I get it. Okay, you want to be upset, but it's still her choice. And I don't think she's doing it based on what I've ever seen about her and the persona she puts out. I don't think this is her doing something where she needs some kind of mental issue. And for some people, maybe it doesn't. But because, you know what? If it did look very unattractive on her and she, wasn't trying to make herself look sexy, because even the pictures she did, she's doing a couple different Instagram pictures where, she's looking ugly because she's doing like a face look like this and that, and just doing different things just to kind of like, troll the crowd. Why not? But there's one picture I saw on here where she's doing a selfie in a bathroom selfie. And look, I mean, she still looks attractive. She didn't go completely bald. She just shaved the head down. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, she kind of has like the Willow Smith look. I mean, Willow Smith does the same thing. And who's saying anything about her? She had longer hair before, and then she changed it up. It's just what happens. I just thought it was interesting to go and see how that story come out and how it just played out so crazy, which it finally decided just to drop in here because she finally decided to comment about it, which made me go ahead and bring it up on the program. So I thought it was good for that. Hey, it's her thing. Doja Cat can do her own thing, and she can be depraved and the debaucherous just like all of us. So, don't pay any mind to it. Really, there's better things to worry about. It's just funny seeing a story like that. I got a couple of the stories I want to bring up when it comes to depression, because that was the first thought process that, well, maybe there's something wrong with Doja Cat, that she's depressed, or there's something mentally wrong. So I'm going to just segue into depression, and to where people might thinking that if we're seeing signs that are saying someone's depressed or someone's sad, and one of the stories talks about the exasperation of loved ones and how that can be a telltale sign of depression. That it can be contagious, with relatives feeling angry, frustrated, guilty, and sad that they can't lift their loved one out of depression. And in a way, this is what people feel right here with Doja Cat. They kind of feel like, well, what's wrong with her? It's like it's kind of bringing them down. They're kind of bummed out at the fact that this woman that they've, idolized and worshipped and enjoy their music, and this look of this fantasy that's out there, and of her being fuckable, as she says, her words, not me. And then look what happens. She just cut that off. She just took that whole fantasy, just changed it up. And a lot of guys are all upset about it. The ones that are in their basement jerking their cocks. Come on. She's very snarky, got a sense of humor. Let me tell you, demystifying depression is an important element in the healing process for both the person suffering from it and their family. And involving families in treatment create a more supportive environment for the person beginning treatment. So yeah, there's this thing as chronic depression having a ripple effect, where close family and friends can feel worried, scared, helpless, annoyed, frustrated, and guilty they can't cheer up or energize their loved ones. So people are asking about Doja Cat. Couldn't somebody of her fans or friends, because in the story, remember, they said they were disgruntled by her change. But that's because it was their own feelings that were hurt by this. That's what was going on there. They were worried about her changes. But it was really just what she wanted to do. And so some people are going to feel disheveled mentally because of that. How about that part? And it's also often when people are totally exhausted, when they feel they can't do anymore and they've given up on the idea they can rescue their loved one, they acknowledge they may need outside help. This is one of those things that's very important to bring up. And they talk about this here in pretty expensive terms, but I thought that was something to be said. And then also about how depression might be telling us something. Another story comes across I want to just bring up real quickly to correlate with the story here. Are we ready to listen? That medical breakthroughs don't always come from discovering new facts, but also seeing old facts in a new way. And there's a new paradigm also saying now that depression is designed response to a life problem rather than a disorder. And seeing depression as a design response has implications for treatment and a useful ally in the fight against stigma. This is what I believe wholeheartedly. A life problem. And I think a lot of times when you see a woman that's depressed, a young girl that's depressed, or a guy, well, especially women, I believe it's trauma. That's from relationships, that's from dating, and that's from personal development, growth, bullying, the insecurities, the self-esteem issues. And then more importantly, you see real depression in some cases because of a woman who is traumatized emotionally, physically, and sexually. And that needs to be better identified and better handled. And for those young women out there that feel like that's what's gone on with them, that's something where I feel like you need to be able to go ahead and find someone to really open up about. And sometimes they don't want to do that in front of a psychiatrist or a psychologist or somebody, a loved one, that could say something to the family where things can really be construed. You want to find someone that you can really confide in. And so some cases you need to find someone you have feelings for that hopefully will be able to help you understand what happened to you. Or someone that just be very supportive. Because to me, I really believe that, as I've heard before, when you want to try to heal yourself emotionally, what you need to realize is that you need to be able to go and say, okay, you need to love and accept and embrace who you've become with all the different things that happen to you. Instead of trying to change yourself into somebody that you're really not. With Doja Cat, that's not the story. It's a personal choice. That's a difference. But for some people that are depressed, they start making changes and it doesn't make anybody happier or any more content in their lives. And they might get a false sense of contentment, but the truth is it's not. That's something that has to be considered. Those kind of things that I think about as I come to this whole story. Anyway, I'm going to keep it short tonight. That is the show. Thank you for listening in. Finding this program, please subscribe. Make sure to don't miss an episode. I have new episodes on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. The full-length episodes come out on Friday. Oh, it's on Wednesday, excuse me. And I usually drop them on Mondays and Fridays at 9 a.m. Eastern. Look for it on the website if you want to. Depraved and Debaucherous.blogspot.com. King of Podcasts is my username, my handle across all social media: Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram. And I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for listening in. And remember to not judge everybody, to care about each other. And remember that we do things that are a little depraved and debaucherous.